Welcome, viewers. This is A Vision Media Broadcast once again, and I am your host, Tommy Slaughter, and we have a legend, an underground legendary MC. This is Nine. Peace, brother. How you
Salute,
feel?
salute. I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Doing good. You know what I mean? Healthy.
Healthy. That's
Yeah.
important now. Health. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I had a stroke in February,
Oh
and
wow.
it was a mild stroke, but I was able to by the grace of God, I had no permanent damage, nothing. Everything working, both hands. I could talk.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
it definitely opened up my eyes to a lot of foods and different things that we be doing. You know what I mean? So my blood pressure was super high. I didn't even go get it checked. So I advocate for older black men, especially up in age, over
Yeah.
50. You got to go to the doctors, man. Like I go 4 times a year now. This happened to me in February, but
Bless
I've
you.
been going every 3 months. You know what I mean?
That's right. To stay up on your health, man. You know.
Yeah, man. But, it's getting to that time. We see a lot of brothers. I see posts every day. We just lost Chino XL. We just lost Polo.
Chino, man. Yeah. Shout out to yeah. Rest in peace, Chino. Yep.
Rest in peace to both of them, and the countless others that we losing. Black Rob, all these I'm naming health conditions. Think people that die from health. You know what I mean? Issues. You
Yeah.
know.
Since you bringing up that, man, I know we're gonna get into what we got to get into, but I just received a kidney transplant
Oh,
through high blood pressure. Um, not taking my high blood pressure pills. I thought I can do it on my own with like being a vegan or do some herbs, and
right.
I wasn't really on it. And the whole time I'm trying to take this stuff, my blood pressure going up and up, and I didn't even know how high it was going. I didn't know.
My shit when they found me, when they came to get me, my shit was 281 over 160, some shit like that. It was crazy. Their mouths dropped. They was like,
How
they
you
threw me
survive.
on that stretcher and raced me to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ambulance as fast as they could. You know what I mean?
Yo, man, that right there is very important for us as black men. And we won't go until something serious happens. It has to be serious for us to go to a
We
hospital.
gotta change that mind state. And I know a lot of things have to do with insurance and costs. A lot of brothers don't
Yeah,
have health insurance. This is
yeah.
the disparity in the two different cultures, which is what we been complaining about. You know what I mean? Forget welfare. We need affordable health care. You know what I mean?
That's what we need. So we're trying to find the right angle because a lot of people, even though we work, but it's not enough. It's just not enough, man. You know?
And then we the type of people we ain't really paying for nothing that ain't happening right now. Ain't happening.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel fine right now. I ain't paying this month. I ain't paying. You know what I mean?
That is, I mean, it's kind of sad, but that's just how we are, man. It's hard for us. We survive in other ways,
We
and
got so many other things and pressures on us to deal with every day. Just being black. I mean, people don't understand getting in your car every day and driving out in these streets is. Is today the day? Am I gonna run into them peoples? Is,
exactly.
is, is it gonna go bad for me?
That's a whole stress factor for us right there, man. Right there.
They don't understand that. But off that, we here to celebrate hip hop's 50 years.
50
Amazing.
years. Amazing. That's right, man. And like I said, we have the legendary underground MC Nine, known by his stage name Nine, from the Bronx, New York City. He is
Yes,
known
sir.
for his harsh, gravelly flow and distinctive voice. Songs NEMC, What You Want, Lion King, Every Man for Himself, Red Rum, which is my favorite, and
Thank
so
you.
so on, many more. You know what I mean? I just want to say
Thank you.
something very important. You're welcome, brother. You dropped the double M from your name. Any reason for that?
Yeah, it was two reasons. Mainly actually the song. I got the deal as 9 double M. I signed as 9 double M, but
Yeah.
we didn't have What You Want when I signed the deal. So as we were sitting around listening to songs we were gonna put on this album and stuff, we was like, we need a. So the producer he came up with the What You Want song, and when I wrote the hook, it was more like, "What you want, nigga?" He was like, "Hold up," he was
Change
like,
it. Change it up.
"Can you hear what's happening here?" He said, "This is one of them records that could go." He said, "And you saying what you want, nigga?" And he said, "You gotta think of." So I said, "Oh, why not? What you want now?" And I was
Yeah,
like, well, my name's not Double M. He's like, why is it not Double M anymore? He said, what's the point? It represents a gun. People are gonna take it, you know what I mean? The 9 double M, 9 millimeter, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Comes from
yeah,
stems from that.
yeah, yeah.
So I made the conscious decision right there. It was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drop it. And I told the label, and they was cool with it. They were actually happy.
Oh, that you
You know,
dropped double M.
yeah. So that was the main reason. It was that song. I couldn't fit the hook without, the way I wanted it by saying, "What you want,
Yeah,
9 double M?"
yeah, yeah. But it seemed like ever since then, people still was saying 9 double M. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I look at it like Nas is nasty Nas.
that's
You
right.
know what I mean?
That's
I
right.
call him Nas, but there's times where I'm like, oh, that's nasty Nas. When he hit a certain flow of pocket, that's
Yeah,
nasty Nas. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, Jay got Hove, this, that. So, multiple names is something that we should hope for. you know.
There's almost like something that will never leave. It's like stuck with you, no matter if you try to.
And a lot of artists, I'm gonna tell people the secret why they do it, why Jay-Z's Hove. It gives you a whole new plethora of things to rhyme about. Because
Oh,
now
okay.
you're talking about yourself, but you're saying it in a different name, and it gives
And
you
different
fresh
names.
ideas, new
Yeah,
vocabulary to incorporate rhymes with Hove. A lot of stuff rhymes
yeah.
that don't rhyme with this. That so there's a reason for it. That's why Biggie was Biggie Smalls, Notorious, and
That's
even the
right.
Wu-Tang members. They had it was Tony Starks and
Tony Stark.
Ghostface.
Yeah,
So it
Johnny.
gives us
Yeah.
gives us a lot of avenues and lanes when we're being creative. So I've always understood that why mainly we do it.
Well, there's a reason why that's dope, because you could have different things to talk about. You got different names. You
Right.
can play different characters in your rap, you
And
know?
you can rhyme different words with your name. You're just talking about
Too.
yourself, and you
That,
know.
that too, man. That's
So,
dope, man. But can you take me back to the name Ricochet before 9 double M? How did that
oh
come up?
wow, wow. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, yeah. Had to throw a curveball,
I
you know?
was that was the first name. Well, my first name when I started rapping, I was a kid, like 13, and we
Yeah,
just had a little crew in the neighborhood. I'm talking. This was the inception of hip hop.
yeah.
4 records. I've been here before that. You know what I mean? As a youngster, 13. So my name was Cool D,
Cool.
and then I heard of Cool Mo D. I mean, we're still kids, but I was like, oh, I can't call myself that. So
Yeah, yeah.
by the time I got to junior high school, there was this friend of mine named Ronald. He hates when I tell his story. He had this name written on his jacket. It said Ricochet. I said,
Yeah.
what's that? He's like, this is a nickname. I said, you rhyme or something? He's like, nah. So I said, I'm going to use that. And he said, all right, go ahead. So, I was in a group with Funk Flex at the time, Deuces Wild.
Yeah, I remember this is why I'm gonna get into all that. Yep.
Right, right. So, it was
Yeah,
me and my partner Tito, rest in peace. He was called Centipede. So it was Ricochet and
yeah,
Centipede. We had some wild names,
yeah.
that really stood out. And then, Flex joined the group and we was running around since then trying to get on. You know what I mean?
Wow. Well, yeah. So we're talking about Flex now. You went right into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. He was part of the
yeah.
group. He was there when I was Ricochet. He was,
Was he DJing in at that time and
yeah,
producing?
he was the DJ for the group. Back then you had the two rappers and the DJ. There was the Run DMC thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You covering
So
up?
he was the DJ, he was
Yeah, your feet.
oh
Yeah,
sorry about that.
yeah.
Yeah, he was the DJ. He was our Jam Master J, you could say, you know what I mean?
At
But
that
we
time, yeah,
incorporated
yeah,
him in the rhymes and stuff, you
yeah,
know. And he was dope. He was dope. He was a B-boy. He was a hip-hop dude. He still is, but
yeah.
when I met him, we were about 16, 17, maybe 17, 18 years old when I met him,
Wow.
you know.
Funk Flex was doing big things, man. And back then, and hip hop was so much different back then. We're talking about the golden era, the 80s and the 90s. And for my time was 80s and the 90s. Because I'm only 48. But it was different.
90s, but the 80s was what built
Yeah.
character.
What built
Once
what
that
built
was
it.
lost, because if you notice anything about the 80s acts, they
Yeah.
had honor. They weren't biters. No one was sounding the same. I
You
could
knew
go to
who
the
was
record
who.
store.
Yeah.
I went to the record store one time. I bought Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, Stetson Sonic, EPMD, Slick. I bought a bunch of cassettes. Not
Yeah.
only did none of them sound the same, none of the beats sounded the same. They wasn't
Different.
even using the same slang. You
Different.
know what I'm saying? He was using
Different.
his words. He was using his words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was beautiful, and it was everyone was different, and that's what I come from that. From that mentality. I was taught that by Chuck Chillout, Andre Harrell. Jekyll and Hyde was our manager at the time. When he had just started becoming a manager,
Yeah.
and he was managing my little group for a minute, and then we went with Chuck Chillout, who lived next door to one of the members. So we knew Chuck since I was 15 years old. So he also just had
Yeah.
heart surgery, so he made it through and everything. He's good now. So I
Oh,
want to
okay.
send a shout
Yeah.
out to Chuck Chillout.
Shout out to Chuck Chillout. Yeah, we talking about Chuck Chillout, cool chip, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to Chuck Chillout, man. I'm glad that you made it through because a lot of our brothers don't make it through, man. When that, man, you know.
Nah, true that.
Wow.
True that. So
Yeah. And what was your first hip hop album you fell in love with, and why did you resonate with?
oh,
Yeah, why did it resonate with you?
the first hip hop album I fell in love. Oh man, gotta be. I would say Raising Hell, but it was King of Rock.
Nigga Rock.
It was Run DMC. King of Rock was the first
Yeah,
album. I mean, Raising Hell to me is one of the greatest albums ever made. It was
that's
perfect.
that's right. That's right.
It had the perfect amount of songs, the perfect amount of vibes. They
Mhm.
touched on a lot of stuff. Run DMC, man. Without them, man, I don't know what this thing would look like that we got. They carried this thing on their back. I don't think they get enough. They get theirs, but not enough for me.
Yeah, I think that over the years they've been getting awards. I think Grammys.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
in the Rock and Roll Hall. I'm just talking about
yeah,
in the
right.
culture's conversation
And yeah,
when they
conversations.
talking about greatest. You
Okay.
know,
Okay. Yeah. 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 Because I think that you're right. Their names doesn't come up enough. You
right?
know.
Because see, I was there. I was a little kid watching all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there watching it happen. You know what I mean? And I know
Yeah.
where it was at before Run DMC, and it was just a little thing they played once in a while in the radio. We weren't getting any recognition. Like, of course, you had your Grandmaster Flash, you had the Melly Mel's.
Well,
He's a king. Salute to Mel.
yeah.
But at the time, they were more like they weren't. They were hip hop art, but they were transitioning into more. Even with the look, they looked like rock
Yeah.
stars. They were wearing.
Yeah.
They were dressing like
Yeah.
the Ohio Players or Earth, Wind and Fire. They had the
Right. That's
outfits.
right.
Even
The
Band
outfit.
Bottoms,
Yeah.
Soul Sonic Force. They were wearing So Run DMC looked just like you and me. When they came out, they was wearing clothes that we wore when we was outside. They looked like
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. They did. They did.
We related to them so much more. So that's why when they came in, all that costume stuff went out the window, and it just
Because they was regular. They had their hats. They had the jeans. They sometimes they had white tees on.
oh
Yeah. They
yeah,
rocking the
man.
white tees.
Them leather jackets, them hats, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they
It
was
was
the white
crazy.
tees, man. Yeah. And you
Right.
also want to just go back just a little bit with about Funkmaster Flex, right? You teamed up and released the hit record everybody loves, especially in Philly, 6 Million Ways to Die, right? But after that song,
Right.
you and him kind of like separated. Like, what happened with that?
Well, I think because like 6 Million Ways to Die wasn't even planned. That was an instrumental. He was doing these beats, these songs, they were just instrumentals. So actually, Tragedy, Intelligent Hoodlum, he's on the first version of 6 Million Ways to Die. It was me and him
Oh,
together.
okay. Okay.
So we just both was at the studio at D&D with Flex. I was still running around with him. We was still a group. We was trying to get a deal as a group, me and him together. And what happened was I had just started developing the style and everything, and I was rhyming to the beat. And he's like, yo, go do that shit.
Yeah.
So I just recorded the song, you know what I mean? And he took it to, I think, Nervous, and they loved it because that's who he was putting the record out with. So that's how that came about. But then after that, it was already happening. We were growing in separate directions,
Okay.
really. His career was definitely taking a non-artist path.
All
You know
right.
what I mean by that? He started to see ways that he could become, radio DJ and all the other things. Everything he did, he planned out. He's a very intelligent brother. And he realized, being associated to an artist
Yeah.
Probably wasn't a good look for him or a good idea for him. At the time, I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't like a little disappointed
Yeah.
because the friendship kind of started to deteriorate and stuff like that. But I look at it. I looked at it as it was something that had to happen because it pushed me to do my own thing. You know what I mean?
It pushed you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't leave you stuck because now you had to
Right.
go on your own.
The ways it affected me though were, were were really bad because there was a time when I was being courted by a lot of labels, you know. And once I announced to these certain people that I wasn't, me and Flex weren't making records together no more, like it was just me.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
guy that they was like, yo, we want to sign you. Then they started backing off, like, let me hold up on this because now Flex is on the radio.
Wow.
Got a lot of power. You don't want to offend a dude who you need to take your other artists to get played. That's the mentality in this industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about
Yeah.
relationships. It's not
Wow.
really about, especially now, it's not about talent. But even back then, it was about relationships. Because if we sitting here being honest, like, I out rap like 80% of them dudes at the time. You know what I mean? Some
That's
dudes that
right.
were blowing
That's
up
right.
and getting pushed.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
listening to them like, yo, he's cool, but I get the arrogance and stuff, but like
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
it as fact. I would call any one of them out, like, yo, what's up? The way I like to battle is we both get on the same record.
That's right. That's right. And then you tear them up on the same record.
You
You
spit
know?
your verse, I spit. We ain't
I
gotta
spit.
talk about each other.
That's right. That's right.
That's what destroyed battle rap. That's why the Kendrick and Drake thing was
Drake.
so like, I got mixed feelings about it because you call this man a pedophile
Yeah. Yeah.
without no proof. And you got the whole world, screaming out certified pedophile. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like thinking that. They're actually thinking that. But
How far are we gonna go? Like, when we battling, just to win a battle, you don't have to besmirch a person's character or make up false claims or accusations about them. You know what I mean? I just think it's gotten out of control. You know what I mean? But then where do we draw the line? Because we loved it when Pusha T did it to Drake when he brought out his
that's
personal
right.
info.
That's right.
We
That's right.
loved it then because it
Yeah.
wasn't too far. But what is too far in the battle? They say nothing. I think making up stuff without proof. Because to be honest with you, if that was me, like he would have to see me.
Okay.
It's not rap no more. Like I don't know. I'm not advocating for violence or nothing crazy, but
I understand what. Yeah. This now.
I
Now
would
you have to
feel
see.
like if somebody made a record calling me a pedophile, like yo, like to me that's my honor. Like that's the lowest thing you could be to me is a pedophile.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
And to associate me with that word without any proof, it's kind of crazy to me. And it's battle. It's called quote unquote it's battle rap, but that kind of crossed the line. Other than that, I enjoy watching them heavyweights punch at each other. It's great for the culture.
Who do you think took it?
Well, no, he who makes the hit record wins the battle. I mean, let's
Yeah.
be honest here.
Yeah.
That Day Not Like Us is insane. But so,
Yeah.
the record is crazy. So it's like once it dropped, it's like that's it.
It's
The
on.
person who makes the hit record, who got the
It's
whole
on.
world. This
It's
is
on.
probably Kendrick's biggest record ever.
Everybody was playing. I think it's in commercials now.
Think about it.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. I'm watching the Olympics. I hit bam, 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 bam. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You're right.
And no matter what Drake say, he human. So I know he got to be feeling it. I know I would be feeling it. So
Yeah, because that thing there hurt a little bit, right?
yeah, he got out of line though. He shouldn't have been involved. When you don't write all your own stuff, you ain't got no business getting into verbal altercations with people who write their lyrics. It's like because you're not when you write. What people don't understand is when you write a song, it's from you. It's coming from inside you. It's your truth. It's how you really feel. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean?
That's
Even
right.
if you faking it or acting, it's still you doing it. But once you get other people to writing stuff,
It's not you no more. It's somebody else now.
they trying to think about what you should say to that person.
Yeah.
Or what you should say. And I mean, and when you're making songs, I don't care. These dudes got ghostwriters that I'm not here to talk, I don't give a fuck. But when you battling somebody, if you're not
That's
writing
right.
those lyrics, it's
That's right.
impossible for you to win. You can't win.
You can't
So I
win.
mean, Kendrick thoroughly washed him up with that last record, you know, and be honest. And it's not that I don't like Drake. I'm indifferent to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Like the world know who won that battle. The
Yeah, it
world
was.
know.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen nothing like that since The Bridge Is Over. And KRS did that, and the record was a hit record. Same scenario. You make a hit record about the other person, and he don't make a hit about you, he loses.
yeah, man. Hey, listen, this is what it is, man. You know when I hear your voice, man, even when and I'm talking about back then, right?
Right.
You got the raspy voice. So you
And
had
I was over exaggerating it because at the time that's what we,
yeah,
that's what we
a
that's what
little
we
rough,
did.
a little aggressive on the mic, right?
Right.
But people actually thought that was your voice. I did. Everybody,
It
even
is.
when you over exaggerated, but
Right. At that time, it was because you can hear the way I talk.
yeah. But
But of course, I'm really going in
you
and
going
trying to,
in,
because, like I said, I come from
yeah,
a place of originality. Everything had to be original. You had to be your own person. You had to not sound like nobody else. Now, that was the goal, not to be looked at as nobody else. Don't rhyme like nobody else. Like, I'm still on that.
be
That's my
original.
mentality. And I think that's what's lost, because anyone who's saying anything now, like, they're using machines to make records.
That's right. Yeah,
Without auto tune, without auto tune, I would say 85% of the artists that use it would disappear like Thanos just snapped his finger
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
without auto tune. Like, so
yeah,
they're using, that's not anyone's voice. That's a machine making you sound a certain way, and people have accepted that. And so what
yeah.
I mean, look where we are now. So
Yeah, it was an auto tune frenzy at one point, and it was
it
when it
still
still,
is.
still is. It still is.
Have every one of those rappers that I hear, just about every one of them, they use some form of that auto tune on their voice. Because if you see them live, they don't sound like that. It's impossible to sound. Well, they use the auto tune at live shows now. So,
Yeah, yes. So that's not
you
a
know,
rich.
not to dismerse it, it's an art. It is art as well. Because I think Future is fire. Like, it's all the mini dudes that's trying
Yeah,
to be Future. That is crazy to
yeah.
me. But Future, he's super talented. Songwriting ability, skill level, dope. I appreciate, because I like stuff that don't sound like what I do.
Okay. So you like the
You know?
opposite? That's cool.
Yeah, I don't want to sit around listening to a bunch of dudes that's talking the same shit. Like, that's
Yeah,
not entertaining to me. I want to be entertained. I
that's
want to
right.
hear something I don't know how to do. I
Go
don't know how
go
to make
outside.
this. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know how
right.
to play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Go outside the box. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because back then, we had sticky fingers, right? What you just froze too. Yeah,
I'm sorry, brother.
you
I
froze
went
for.
dark for a second. I had to go turn some fire off.
Okay, yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I want you to get comfortable. My glasses keep fogging up because my hair is sweating. When your hair is sweat up top, it
With them
got
lights. Yeah, I hear
yeah,
you.
man, that joint keep fogging up. But it's no problem. I worked through it. Yeah, you ready?
I'm ready.
Like back then we had like sticky fingers with the raspy voice. DMX came after you. I want to say I know he probably was rapping in the early 90s, but he wasn't big yet. He came after.
Right.
It's like 97, 98.
And
One
rest in peace to X, yo. This I'm glad you
that's right.
brought this up, man. Because I
That's right.
definitely got to
Right.
address this on every platform
Okay.
that I'm on. Like,
Okay.
I love X. I was a fan of X just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there was a time, like, I know for a fact that his early records, he didn't sound like that. I know there was some type of influence from what I was doing. So, dude, but that's hip hop. But by no means, dude, did I think, because I used to catch it. He never probably caught it. Maybe a few people said, but I used to catch it. I used to go to the store. I'm in IKEA with my fiance, and some dude walks up to me, yo, you nine? I'm like, yeah. I think DMX took your style, yo.
Yeah.
I had to deal with that to the point where I stopped telling people who I was. Like, they was like, yo, you nine? I was like, nah. Because I didn't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
tired of it. Now, as far as the comparison to him, listen, the sound was similar, but X had every attribute I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? And by that, I'm saying he had the personality, the attitude, the image, the direction, everything else was different. By no means was I similar. He didn't copy nothing, that I was talking about or I was trying to do. It was just the tone of our voices, you know what I mean? But at the time, I was just developing. I was just out, and I had a much weaker machine behind me. I was on Profile Records, and I was stuck there while he was out. I couldn't even fight back, not saying battle him or anything, but I couldn't even put out music at the time to defend my sound or say, yo, this is me. I'm still here. Like, we could both exist, but I'm not going to get, because it affected me in a different way later on. When I turned in the album The Arista, or when I finally got off Profile, records and shit, I was on Arista for a minute because they had bought Profile label. They bought the artist.
Arista bought the artist.
And this lawsuit went on for like 4 years. Between Arista and Profile, I had a lawsuit going on for like 4 years. And these are the 4 years I couldn't move. I couldn't do nothing. Now, I come from an old school mentality, a weird thing. It was no entrepreneurship when we were coming up watching this, you know what I mean? We didn't understand business. We would get a lawyer and think the lawyer's on my side. When that's not really the case all the time. Sometimes your lawyer works for him. Wow. And you don't even know. Wow. So I got into a situation. Where I couldn't get off that label until they were done with their lawsuit, which took till 2001.
So that's when you started working on music afterwards.
No, right? I walked. This is what I'm saying about the DMX thing. Now I'm on Arista. They wouldn't let me go, so they gave me some money and said, make us a demo, like 5 songs. We want to see where you at with it today, before we release you, because maybe we could work this out.
That's right.
So, I took the bread. I didn't spend much of it. I already had songs in the tuck and stuff. I knew it wasn't going to go well. So when I turned those songs in, the first thing they said to me was, "You sound like DMX."
Max, I knew it. Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you serious?" And then I was like, "Yo, just let me go. Just let me off this label. Let me out." So they let me go. And this is like the summer of 2001. And for the first time, it's like I was stuck. The industry started shifting. It started changing. It started, you know what I mean? Yeah. This is even before the internet really started popping, but everything started to change. Like, I never was affiliated. I didn't have relationships.
You're right.
That help you in this industry. Someone to speak up for you and co-sign you. I didn't have any rappers. I wasn't down with no teams. Yeah. I wasn't in no clique. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it. I wasn't part of none of that. I did my little records. And I had some friends in it, but they were just associates that was just cool. Like, Ill Scratch was my peoples. I got a lot of friends, Paz K, like people I consider, but I consider them friends outside of the music business.
The music.
I never called any of them and said, "Yo, I need you to help me get this or help me get that." Partially, I wasn't really that type of person, to go out and asking people, yo, and maybe it was to my detriment at the time, but I wasn't affiliated. So when I was just wandering. So I really stopped even making music, I say from 2001 to almost 2005. I was disinterested, and I wasn't going to do the things I was hearing. Everything was negative. It's even worse now, but I wasn't about to be part of it. Because you know how easy it would have been to go in the studio and make some killer nigga record.
That's it.
She's a whole record. She's a stink bitch
totally
record. I could have went and easily joined that wave, or make pretend I'm a thug, I'm a gangster, I'm killing niggas, I'm selling coke. I could have picked any one of these avenues, but it goes against my moral fiber. It's not who I am. It's not.
That's right. So you didn't do it. Yeah.
I'm not going to stand here and make pretend I'm somebody, especially when that's just a dime a dozen. And a lot of dudes do it because it's easy. It's easy to rap about cocaine. It's not hard at all to talk, or you know what to say. You heard it 8 million times. It's easy to rap about coke and how you cook it and how you whip it and how you this. It's easy. Yeah. So dudes take the path because it's easy. And the consumers eat it up. So why would anybody change something if you keep buying it? You eating it up, they're going to keep doing it. So I didn't want to be a part of any of that type of nonsense. So it wasn't until like 2005, around the MySpace time, this dude that made a MySpace page of me, and it wasn't me. And one of my peoples went on there and said, "Yo, how's your daughter?" And he was like, "She's fine." And he was like, "Yo, who is this? Now I ain't got no daughters."
Wow, wow, yeah. So they caught him in a lie, whoever it was.
So
Yeah.
the dude said, "Yo, I'm just a fan. Yo, I got all these." He had like I forget how many. It was a lot of people on his MySpace. So he
Wow.
gave me the password and he gave it to me. And I started
Okay.
going through it and I'm seeing that there was still love for me. There was still,
Okay.
there was still like people going, "Hey, what's up? What's up?" So I started again. I started working on music again. I put out an album in, I think it was 2008 called Quinine, but it was overseas.
Yeah, I see it. Quinine, yep. I
Yeah,
see
it
it.
was overseas joint. So I put that out. And, that was really a money grab though, because, dude came at me with the bag and was like, "Let's
Yeah.
put this album out overseas." I was like, "All right, whatever." You know what I'm saying? Just you got the bag up front. Ain't no, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So
well, they paid you. You went overseas with the album because they asked you for it.
right, right. But that's when I found out that overseas I had a really cult kind of following with my second album, Cloud 9, really did super
Yeah,
well over there.
Cloud
Like,
Nine. Yeah,
people loved it over there. It was like, so once I found that out, then, we started making music. And then, I'm stumbling through. I'm stumbling through up until, because then you're going through the mental part of like,
yeah.
I've never seen dudes over 40 rapping. But
Wow.
that's because I'm over 40. And there
Yeah,
was no one before me for me to see rapping over 40. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
When we
yeah,
came
yeah.
up, we were the alphas. We were the
That's right.
beginning.
That's right. It wasn't
There
nobody.
was no one besides the Melly Mells and all that stuff. And they didn't continue rapping. They stopped in the 90s, really. So it was like a tradition that once you get a certain age, you're not supposed to do this anymore.
Now look, when you made this album over and uh, where you were at to make the album again? Over a different country, right?
No, I didn't go there. I just made the album and sent it, but we released it. It was on a German label. It got released everywhere, but this is before streaming. So this was iTunes,
Yeah,
downloads, physical CDs were being ordered. So, we were making money. And then surprisingly, people don't realize like there's money out here just because you don't see somebody in the forefront or they still making more than the post office. That's my motto.
yeah,
If it's more
yeah,
than the
yeah,
post office,
yeah, yeah.
keep doing it. You know what I mean?
That's right. But see,
Not to just the post office or anything. But what I'm saying is, if it's more than what you would, be doing otherwise,
that's right. That's right. That's
unless
right.
you're a lawyer and you're deciding to be an underground rapper, I'll be like, yo, go be a lawyer. But if you're a bus driver or a train conductor and you can make as much doing this and people don't have to know or see it, then I would suggest you do what you love doing because that's being rich.
Yeah, it
To
is.
me, that's what being rich is. Be doing what you love. You wake up in the morning, you love it. You know?
Yeah. See, my question, you didn't have to be signed to a label to sing your music out there in a different country. You were already independent, so you wasn't tied down to nobody at the time, right?
No, I wasn't. Once Arista let me go after
Yeah,
they,
independent.
they said I sounded like DMX.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was a free agent. I was not signed to anybody. Didn't have, nothing going on at all when
yeah.
I did that project with him. But it was a learning experience. Like I said, we didn't see people older than us doing it because there were none.
Yeah,
But now look, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Hey,
Eminem 51 dropped the #1 album in the country. I mean, look at all these dudes in their late 40s, 50s, packing out spots, but understand and make music for people who want to hear you. You
now
know what I mean?
listen.
Make people make
Yeah,
music for them. Like I'm not making no records that I'm trying to catch TikTok.
that's right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's right.
I
That's
don't
right.
care about what they're doing. I don't have much comments on it. I see what it really is, and I understand
Yeah,
what's being done. The music has been weaponized against us. There's no other excuse to me
right.
for the music and the language and the shit they got our people on. We looking like monkeys. We looking like idiots to the rest of the world. I hope they realize that. Like
Yeah,
these songs they making and the way they talking about killing each other and smoking on this nigga and going to graveyards to film videos. Like we looking like pure animals to the rest of the world.
yeah, yeah. We are. We are. They don't see that though, and they don't see
But
what.
it's not their fault. It's the older people. The young kids don't run the radio station.
Yeah.
They don't. There's no young DJs on the radio. What young DJs? The same old dudes that have been there forever. The gatekeepers.
The gatekeepers.
They
Yeah.
decided to perpetuate this nonsense over and over and over. Their kids don't go to school with our kids. Their
No,
kids don't go to
they
school with
private.
our kids.
They private, man.
Right,
Private.
so their kids aren't being influenced like that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The block ain't raising their kids. They raising their kids. But the block is raising your kids. And this is the bullshit they feeding your kids.
Yeah.
And they go to sleep at night because they know it's a plan. It's not like they like this music. They have no choice. You want to keep this job, it's the program.
And it's making them rich. Filthy rich, man.
So, it's in a sad state. So I removed myself from even, trying to even hear any of that shit.
Yeah. Let's talk about 50 years of hip hop. Were you ever invited to any of the events that was going on?
Yeah, I did the Atlantic City joint, man.
Charlie Mack joint, bro.
Charlie Mack, salute to Charlie Mack. He found me out. So I did his. I did a couple others at hip hop museum stuff, and but like I said, this is another result of me not being affiliated. Because when people ask, how come you don't get mentioned? How come you ain't out there with this? These dudes ain't my friends.
Yeah, yeah.
These are calling their friends because there's a check involved. So who you gonna call?
Right, that's right.
When there's a budget and you can make some money, you're gonna call the dude who you made records with, or you used to run around with, or you used to hang out with. I don't have that type of relationship with none of them. With no artist that's ever been out. I got a lot of love for dudes. I got people who really always stay solid, like Fat Joe. He ain't never changed since day one.
Yeah,
and I met him before either one of us got on him, but he always showed me love. He always, so it's not like I'm saying I don't have, but I'm not comrades with these dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a sense where they'd be like, yo, getting on this show. Some of them be forgetting them, you know what I mean? Till they see me like, oh, yo, what up? Out of sight, out of mind. But I kind of did that to myself because I didn't want to be, a part of the circus.
Yeah, so that's all good. When you mentioned Fat Joe, I'm looking. He even referenced your name in a song on Deep Cover, the Twins. He mentioned he mentioned lyrics and what you want when he mentioned a boogie down Bronx major.
Like none.
Yeah.
And then when I met Pun, rest in peace, man. I loved Pun. Pun runs up to me and he goes, yo, you heard the joint, right? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, yo, I wrote that, but I put that in there. I made sure he said, nah, you know that. Yeah. Pun loved me, man, because he felt like I was really holding the Bronx down. I was going hard for the Bronx,
Oh, wow.
And that meant a lot to him. So, you know what I mean?
So Pun he wrote that? I'm sorry, he wrote that verse for Fat Joe?
Well, I mean, yeah, he said he made sure it was in there. That he
he made sure.
It was no secret, him and Joe. This was when he was showing Joe a lot of things about, right, Joe tell you himself. He doing the interviews that Pun was making him better and, helping him with lines and, making him nicer, You'd be a fool not to if you had the pleasure of sitting next to Pun and access to that pen with some lines here and there. You'd be a fool not to take it.
That's right. You're right. Yeah. Let's I'm gonna pick your brain real fast. Let's go back to the album when you released Charlie Brown and the Bogus Beats.
Yo, you bugging now.
I want to go back to that. How was that session, man? Like this.
Oh, shit, yo. First of all, I was like 16.
Yeah,
maybe 17. I can't remember. We was young, like that was early. But I was privileged to live in a neighborhood. Like I said, my partner that I rapped with, rest in peace, Tito. He lived next door to Chuck Chillout, up the block from Pumpkin, King of the Beats.
Yeah.
Pumpkin, who made Love Rap, who made these original Church's Heart 3 beats like Entertainment. Vincent Davis lived around the corner.
Wow.
Heidi Smith lived up like 4 blocks away from Def Jam. So it was right, and he's next door to Chuck Chillout.
Yeah.
So we had we knew every. Oh, my bad. We knew everyone. So when we were kids, like I remember Pumpkin took me to DLB from Fearless Four's house.
Oh, okay.
I was like 15 years old. DLB taught me how to count bars. Cause I didn't know how to. I would just rhyme and endlessly. Like I thought, the longer you rap, the better you were. People would think.
Hey, you need them bars in there.
Because your memory got to be
Yeah,
so good, so you can rap for 4 minutes,
yeah,
5 minutes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was like, yo, you got to put those in bars, man, like 16, 20 bars or something. I was like, what's that? So he was trying to explain it to me, but it wasn't sinking in. I'm a kid. So he took me to DLB house. I'll never forget that shit, man. And this is when Problems, right before they did Problems of the World, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was at that session. I was a little kid sitting in the corner watching him play the bass line.
Yeah, with Fearless 4.
Yeah, so he taught me how to count bars, basically 1, 2, and how to write a hook. He called it a crust at the time. He's like, yo, this is the crust of the
Right.
song.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I saw him at the 50th anniversary in Atlantic City, and I reminded him that I'm the same guy. He was bugging. He was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was me, man. You taught how to count bars. So, once I learned how to do that, then we started putting little songs together. And, like I said, he was like, all right, we'll put it out. We'll find somewhere to put a song out. That's all we wanted to do was make a song. I didn't want to be, I didn't think anything would be of that. Just make a song so I could walk around, maybe get a record company jacket so I could
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
through high school with the jacket on. Like, there was this dude, he wasn't down with sleeping bag. He had the jacket on, so everybody thought he, you know what I'm saying?
Even Bag Records. Wow, that's
Yeah, so that's all I wanted out of that. But then, it started going on and on. And when I met Andre Harrell, matter of fact, he was managing us at the time. But he was just becoming
Uncle Andre Harrell was manager, y'all?
yes, rest in
Okay.
peace, Andre, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is before he had Uptown and everything. Because by the time he got that, we were cursing and all types of, he was like,
Yeah.
he let us come in to see him. So, before we shop, Chuck brought us in there. We all sat down, but he wasn't feeling us like that no more. He had the Heavy D in the boy. He was going in a different, direction. He was into the, that thing, you know what I mean? We called it soft or whatever, but rap was finally becoming hardcore. NWA was out, Public Enemy. It was finally hard.
Yeah, Apache, all the dudes, man.
It was
Yeah.
hard now. Stretch, Naughty by Nation was hard. So it was like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Ice
right.
Cube and all. We was like, yo, we hard dudes because we was living hard by then. I'm selling drugs in the street. I'm selling crack. You know what I mean? I like to call myself BC because people, when I say, yo, I'm BC, they be like, well, before Christ? I'm like, no, before crack.
Yeah, before crack. Yeah. Yeah.
Most of y'all are AC after crack. I'm before crack. I remember what it was like out here when there was no crack. And I'm going to tell you, it changed the world. When the crack came out, it changed everything. Everything. People dying, shooting. But when it first came out, it was the only drug in the world you didn't need approval to sell it. Because what people don't understand about the streets is not everybody could sell coke on the block
Yeah.
or
So
even be a coke dealer.
yeah.
You had to get approved. You had to go through OGs and get approved that you was a stand-up dude. You could stand out there. You wasn't going to be shooting in your neighborhood.
yeah,
You couldn't be doing that. But when crack came out, it was like a free-fall.
right.
You know what I mean? And I had a good job. I had 2 jobs at the time. But I'm seeing dudes that didn't graduate high school driving Maximas with rims. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm standing there like, yo, I'm still on the train going to work every morning, I'm working I had a really good job. I got out of high school. I was working for Domino Sugar, Amstar Corporation in the
Oh,
corporate
okay.
building.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was in the mailroom, but I was around corporate sit. I had full medical coverage, all kind of good shit that you don't know means anything when you were a kid.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
I was in a program in school where I worked 1 week, went to school 1 week, so they kept me after I graduated.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So
You know what I mean?
you got credits towards that too.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I was seeing a whole new world, but then I was coming back to that block.
yeah, yeah.
And the crack was taking over. Everybody was selling it. And we wanted money to go to the studio. Studio was $110 an hour back then for Quadrasonic. Minimum wage was $3.35. You do the math.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
It was
So
cool back then.
we thought we could sell some, And it didn't go well. You know what I mean? It didn't go well so. But
Wow.
it started to reflect the music. We started to make more, because now we in the streets and we seeing what's really happening. Like, dudes are getting murdered. Like,
Right. Locked up.
this was
Left.
way
Right.
out of the norm. Most of
Yeah.
the time, somebody get jumped, they get beat up, somebody might get stabbed, but nobody was getting shot to death like the 80s,
Yeah.
when crack came out.
Yeah.
So it definitely changed everything.
Wow. You walking right into everything that I want to ask, man, because now let's talk about the appearing in the 90s police drama New York Undercover. That was a show that everybody loved, man. And you
Right.
also appeared in that show. How was like just being, acting and being in an episode? How did you get that call to get involved with New York Undercover?
Well, it was so happens that there was this Jamaican director named Michael Valentine, and he
Yeah,
was trying to put together a little underground movie, about Jamaican culture in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. I grew up with Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans. I know Jamaicans and Puerto like very well. I went to junior high school with them, elementary school with them. So,
yeah,
you know, when he called me, he asked me, he knew this girl that I knew, and she asked me to come down and read for him. So I came down and he was like, yo, I want to put you in this. So long story short, we were filming what's called, they were taking the dailies, like the footage that they had.
yeah.
And someone from that worked for New York Undercover saw me on it, on a daily.
But they saw you on the okay.
I guess they were at the same place at the same time. He's like, who's that? He's like, that's that nine guy. He's like, oh, yo, have him. And I got the call out of nowhere, to come read for the part
Oh,
in the New York.
was it just that part? Did you have more seasons or just that part?
No, I was in like 16.
16, you were, yeah, six.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
there was more that didn't make it. I found
Yeah,
out about television, like, there was other scenes that they
yeah,
didn't use, and
yeah,
stuff. But
you.
it
Okay.
took 6 days to do that one episode. It was crazy.
6 days?
And we start from the back. But what you saw at the end was what we did first, the first day. You know what I'm saying? So it's all out of
Okay.
order. So I learned, but I also learned that I didn't really have no love for it at the time. Like standing
Well,
there repeating the
acting?
same. Yeah, it's like there was no passion for me. You know what I mean? I was glad to do it. I wanted to do it. Everybody wants to be on TV, but actually doing the work, I didn't think it was something that I could get used to doing every day. You know what I mean?
So the work, people look at these stars making these movies, but it's work, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, man. You could,
Yeah,
there was one point where the director, like by our fourth day, Malik Yoba's sister, she braided my hair, so I was in the trailer getting my hair braided.
yeah.
And Malik came in. We hadn't really conversed or anything, but the director walked by. And he saw us talking, and he was like, "Yo, I don't want you talking to these dudes. I don't want you getting friendly. I don't want you. It's gonna show on camera. I
Why?
want you to
Why
look
not?
at them like the post." Because and he was right because the scenes you would get more lighter because you
Oh,
know the
okay,
person for
okay,
real. Like they don't
okay.
want you to really know him. He's like, yo, he's a dirty cop. I want you to think like that. You hate the police, and that's what he is. Like,
Okay.
don't think he's Malik and he's a cool guy when you
Wow.
put in the scene.
Okay. Yeah.
The tension would drop. He wanted that tension, which is why the scenes came out like they did. So I understood the mental right there. I was like, okay, this is mental. You gotta,
Yeah, it's a mental situation.
and
Yeah.
then to
Okay.
repeat the same thing over and over from different camera angles, and you gotta make it sound like it's work. It is work. You have to have a passion for it. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay. Okay. Sometimes you.
Because I read for other things after that. I read for Mod Squad, the movie
Yeah.
and stuff. I didn't get the part, but at that time, everything was going into turmoil personally for me. So it was really too hard. Like I would love to do it now that I see what it is, but I'm a much older, I'm talking, I was young when I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you not really. That's not your passion. You wouldn't even go. In that lane.
No, if 50 call right now, I'll definitely pop up on any
When
one
you're
of them
probably,
shows.
that paper. Listen, and let me ask you this though.
And I would have fun doing it. I'm a much more relaxed person. See, I was antsy back then.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had too much energy, you sitting too long, you want to keep moving, you know what I'm saying? I'm way
Yeah.
laid back now, so I can appreciate the art for what it is now, Because I did do a play at the Apollo after that. It's called
Yeah.
Echo Park. I
Oh, okay.
played um I played DJ Hollywood's character. I had the
Yeah.
main character.
DJ Hollywood. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow.
It ran for like a week. It ran for like a week at the Apollo. And, they had some financial issues, so the show, it got shut down quick. It got bad reviews, too. Like, they didn't understand is that, it was supposed to be like hip-hop on Broadway.
Yeah.
And it was they didn't have the budget that they really needed to impress those guys who come review the show. So once they got bad reviews, even though the place people who came loved it. It was me, Grandmaster Kaz, Curtis Blow was the narrator. It was a bunch of breakdancing kids in it and stuff. It was good,
Wow, that's cool. That Broadway, it was Broadway. That Broadway money was nice.
And that's a lot harder acting live on stage in front of people than doing TV or movies.
Broadway,
when you're doing a play, it's very difficult because you got to remember your marks where you stand so the audience can see you. So the rehearsals are intense. It's really, I got a lot of respect for those art forms after participating in them and seeing how it's not easy at all.
Wow, I thought, is it true that when you doing like New York Undercover, that still those checks be coming like every week?
Oh no, check it out. In the beginning, you get like, I'm a SAG member now because of it. So in the beginning, you get like, whoa, oh shit, I ain't see this coming. And then the next one is half of that. And then the next one's half of that.
Half of that.
So I think now I get like 19 cents.
Wow. So it went down, it goes down and down and down.
Yeah, it decreases like crazy. Unless you're a main character and your residuals are written into your, and it's showing constantly. Like if you're in one episode or something, like I'm sure the guys who Malik and Michael and them, I'm sure they get decent size checks.
Yeah.
Because you're a principal, but when you're a guest actor on it, the first maybe 4 checks is nice because it's close to what you got, but then it starts to decrease. But the good thing about it is you never even think about it. You just go to the mailbox. If it's there, it's there. If it's because I did a Burger King commercial, it paid me more than all of that, and I said 4 words.
Wow.
I said BK, and the guy said for you. I said BK for you. That's it.
And the check was way more than the cover.
I'm not even gonna front, man. I made a lot of money off that.
That's dope, man.
And when I started getting the checks, I was bugging because it was from every city, every time zone. It's crazy. So when you see somebody making commercials, they're getting paid.
They getting
paid. You know what I'm saying? That's where money's at. Voiceovers. I've done some voiceovers for video games. I can't even remember the name of the games. I never played the game, but the check came to. It was like, I want you to say, "How dare you cross my?" I was like, "Oh, that's it. I got you." They just wanted that voice. I did it. Video game, nice big check.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things you could do outside of standing on the stage. But we're gonna get to that because where I'm at right now is real crazy.
Well, check this out. We're going back to hip hop now, right? The Roots. When the Roots came out, Roots from Philly, the Roots came out with a song called "What They Do," explaining about fake videos.
Right.
People got the fake champagne bottles pouring up and this was in the 90s. And you also dropped a classic record that was called Lion King in the 90s.
Mine was first.
But yours was first. Okay, yours is first.
Always first, man. I'm not going to they be picking my brain. They look at something. I know artists do this for a fact. They look at something that might not have been as big and successful.
Yeah, and they
go.
Yeah.
You can take that idea, you birthed the idea in their head. And I mean, it's too much coincidence. Like I be telling, I'm one of the most bitten from dudes ever. I got teeth marks all over me, man. You know what I mean?
Check this out. I'm going to say a verse from you. It says, "I heard your album and I don't believe a word of it." Right?
Right.
That's from the Lion King. Was that song personal or was it about the industry overall?
It wasn't about any particular one rapper because I had some instances with people over this record. Yeah. It was about, I heard your album and I don't believe a word of it. Like, I didn't believe it. The majority of what I was seeing getting ready to happen. Yeah. There's a lot of dudes I knew. Like you be on social media now and one of your friends, somebody maybe not really a friend, they'll put up a post saying enlightenment is the way to the path. And you like, this dirty ass nigga talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so I would see some rappers that I knew for a fact, like, you wasn't selling no coke, you wasn't doing none of that. Like, I know people who know you. You kind of start. I seen you tucking your chain at a show we did together.
That's
Like,
right. That's right.
I seen a lot of things with dudes. I knew it wasn't real. So Lion King was like, it was an instant concept that I had. It was like, bang, and now look, how
And
many dudes is lying?
a lot of them, and
I
90,
mean, come on.
99%.
Come on, man. I say this in one of my new records too. I was like, yo, you could steal a man's name and his likeness and
Yeah,
then get mad when he don't like it.
that's right. That's right. But one thing,
You know what I'm talking about. So, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
come
yeah,
on, what are we doing? Like, this is crazy. So when I made Lion King, it was like, it was people call me a fortune teller. I could see what was coming. You know what I mean? The lie, constant lying, and it was just I knew it was going to be the detriment. It was going to help some people, but it was going. That's why I said lying in yours, making it harder for mine, because a lie is always more popular than the truth.
it is, it is. It overrides
So
the truth. Yes, it
if
does.
you lying and I'm telling the truth, then you hurting what we doing over here. So we ops, as they like to say now. Now you know.
Right, right. That's right. You're right. Yeah, man. And this in this industry, right?
you
What
know.
in this industry, uh, which has been more valuable in your career, education or experience?
Oh man, I would say experience because you could know a lot and still get done dirty.
Right. That's right.
Going through it, you could tell the pantomimes. Like I could tell a person if they're a liar or a snake just by the eye contact.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been lied to so many different ways and so many different, approaches done to me, and especially people that want to steal your money. You know, there's a certain way they talk, and I could just see it immediately. I'd be like,
That's
nah,
right.
I'm good.
You pick it
Nah,
up.
I'm good.
Yeah,
No, because it's not like I wasn't given opportunities. People was approaching me doing, you know, 2010s on up to,
yeah.
I still was getting approached, but it was just grimy. It was some grimy dudes and grimy situations, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
And after what happened to me, I knew the next person that played with my life, you know what I mean? Because that's what you're doing I love when 50 Cent, one of my favorite lines from 50 is, I love a thief. Something about, I love a thief more than a liar. He said, a thief is only after my salary, a liar is after my reality.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
That's powerful. And he said that, I was like, ooh, use that as a mop, something to live by. Somebody who steal, he's just trying to take something you got. But if a person lying to you, they trying to take your reality from you. Like, they telling you stories and fantasies and shit that ain't true and what you're gonna get and how much you're gonna make. And then when you don't get it,
Yeah, yeah.
you can
You
only
know,
blame yourself.
you know what I find disturbing about this industry? Everybody who I talk to, all the artists, men, women, I'm talking about the R&B singers, everybody have the same story about not getting paid what they're supposed to get paid. But the thing
Now look at it's worse.
I know I thought it was better now because these young boys carry big money and they got all this stuff. Like the new rappers got a lot of stuff. It seems like a lot of money. It seems like that.
Because the reason they have all that is the genre is huge now. You gotta
Yeah,
remember in the 90s, like I had to go to MTV and they put my video up and I had to voice over mad clips from my nines. I had to say some other stuff.
yeah,
I couldn't say, you know what I mean? I couldn't say, I had to change the lyrics throughout in order for
yeah,
them to play it.
yeah. To play it, yeah,
We
yeah,
had to go through that type of shit. This genre was not nearly as huge as it is now. Now it is the number one genre. Everybody buys hip hop. Everybody doesn't buy it, but everybody's into it. Everybody participates all over the country, everywhere. It's big everywhere. You got superstars from everywhere. You didn't have that before. Now, so of course the bag is way bigger, but what the record companies and industry has figured out is they just go directly for your soul. So they buy
yeah.
you up front.
They buy you up
By
front.
saying that, they give you, like I heard they gave this girl Ice Spice $2 million.
Yeah, it's just,
3 million. But
wow.
that's for everything. That's for her likeness, her show money, part of her show money, her merchandise. That is it's a 360 deal. It's a complete slave deal. You are now owned. If you write a book, they get a percentage of it. If you be in a
Oh,
movie, they get a
they get a
percentage
percentage of
of it.
that?
So they
Wow.
pay up front for that. They'll give you 5 million up front, which is crazy because half of it's going to the government. I don't want 5 million up front. That
Wow.
first that first million, first million you make, half, 400,000 right off the top. So if it's 5 million, 2.5 right off the top. Because what are you going to claim? You ain't spent, you didn't buy anything yet. You have no deductions. You have nothing. You just been given this lump sum of money all at once that they can tax right down the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
As you
Wow.
get savvy with business, as your years go on and you accumulate wealth, you get savvy with it. You know how to invest. You know how to put certain money here that can't be taxed or this, that. You start, but when you first get it, you don't know any of this, and they don't allow you to. They just take it off the top.
Yeah, they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know.
You don't get that check, and then they have to pay because you a new millionaire. You might not understand that half of this money ain't yours. So
What,
they
what,
taking it before you even get it. They're taking it.
they already taking it. Well, how big was your very first check when you got signed?
Oh, back in the 90s,
In the 90s, yeah.
the first one that was big that I was like, okay, you know, probably 75. That was the first one. I got bigger ones after that, but that first one, probably like, okay. Remember, this is 95.
95, 96, yeah.
Even though, bad, but you seen Biggie's first check was 161,000.
Yeah,
In the movie, it showed the amount. It was
yeah,
161,000.
yeah.
So a lot more expenses was spent over there and promotion and stuff. Like I said, I was lost on an island by myself. What You Want hit because it was authentic and it was original. But I
What
didn't
you
have any
want?
promotion. I didn't have no help. The label did not
What?
help me at all.
Putting What You Want out, they didn't help you?
No, that video cost at the time $15,000. Videos was 80, 90 at the
Yeah,
time.
it was, yeah, yeah.
I had students. We went and found the student directors that worked at Columbia, the black kid. This girl took me over there to meet him. And I walked
Yeah.
in and he was like, yo, we could do it. We could give you something good for the money that they got. And I was like, yo,
$15,000.
I need a Jeep. I said, I need a Jeep. I need a dark-skinned girl. Make sure she's dark-skinned. She has to be dark-skinned.
Yeah.
That was intentional. I said, I need a dark-skinned girl in a Jeep, and I'm going to drive from Amsterdam Avenue in Harlem to Washington Square Park, and y'all niggas film me in the Jeep. And I'm going to get out of Washington Square Park. I'm going to rap a little, and I'm going to get back in the Jeep and drive away. And that's what we did. That's all the money we had. So we driving down the street. That was all live. We didn't have no permits. We didn't have nothing. You know what I mean? There's a part where I'm on the Jeep and I'm sitting up on back of it rapping.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
police pulled up right behind us and was like, get down. And we had to get down, explain what we was doing because they had a roll cage attached to the other car. It was crazy, but we started at like 9 a.m. We didn't finish. It started getting dark is when we stopped. And I hope we had enough footage to make a decent. And it all worked out. Like that
Yeah, it
song
did work out.
that song was a blessing for me because it
That's
was,
right. That's
it,
right.
it definitely was. Because out the gate, it was like bang, I was dancing with the big boys. I was number 3. There's only 2 songs that was above me on the Billboard chart at that time, and that was Big Papa and Craig Mack's Get Down.
So
And
being
What You
so
Want was number 3.
you did What You Want, right? And this was independent. Like you did this without help. So does that mean
No,
that
I was on Profile Records. I was on the label.
I
What I
know, but
mean by
go ahead.
what I mean by no help, it wasn't the help that everybody else was getting. Let me say that. I was doing
Okay.
radio runs. I mean, they promoted, they did but it wasn't no big investment in me. It wasn't like
All right. Yeah.
they was like, we don't know about this guy yet, hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. And then when I turned Cloud9, then they were totally turned off. They was like, he talking about this and that, is
Cloud9.
uncivilized,
Yeah.
make a take, and Lion King, and he's going against what everybody else is doing. So
So
they
what
look at
about
it like, huh?
but no, I'm saying, what about since they didn't really dig Cloud9 and Lion King, what about Red Rum? How do you feel about Red Rum?
Well, that was the B side for What You Want. So
Yeah.
at that point, everyone was excited because it was a new sound. It was so they embraced the first album. You know, they did the bare minimum, and it sold a lot. So they made a profit. You know what I mean? It was cheap. We were in-house production. I wasn't even paying for, produce. I had one dude producing me at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is how I like to work. Like where I'm at now. I got one guy. I come from that. I think you can make better projects. Because I had a relationship with the dude. We were struggling together. We were making demos for years together before we got our break, So, like I said, I come from a place where I didn't want a beat from him because he did one for you, and it's gonna sound just like that on your album.
Okay.
Why would it sound like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't understand the game, but see, it was the Illmatic album that changed production in how people approach making albums because it was so successful, and he had like a dream team of producers.
Yeah, Q-Tip, DJ Premier, Pete Rotten, he had everybody. So on Nine Lives, on your first album, you didn't have different producers. You only had one.
I had one guy named Tony Stout produced Red Rum, the Harder Edge records, Overconfident, Red Rum, and I think he produced. I can't remember what others. So I think he just did those two.
That Red Rum was crazy, man.
Red Rum was done by the other dude, but Rob Lewis was the producer who did the majority of Cloud9. He did all of Cloud9, except one song he didn't do on Cloud9. Third Eye, Jesse West produced one song on Cloud9.
Okay, one song.
Yeah, Rich Man, Poor Man.
Okay. Did you ever do Red Rum at a concert?
Oh yeah, of course.
Crazy, wasn't it?
But I learned a real valuable lesson one time.
Yeah.
When performed, like what you want, because Red Rum was the record I wanted to put out first.
Yeah.
But what I realized was like, friends would come by my house and I played, they had their girlfriends with them or whatever. And I played Red Rum and dudes was like, yeah, but the girls would all start talking to each other. When I put what you want on, everybody got quiet. They was like, play that again. They was like, play that one again. I like that one.
Yeah.
I was like, my decision is made. What you want is the first.
What you want was listen. That
dudes will nod with you, and like I don't rap for other rappers. I tell people all the time, if you rap for other rappers, you ain't going nowhere. If you need him to tell you it's how, that's fire. Oh, he said it. Nah, man. Don't play your music for other rappers. You're never gonna be able to be yourself because you're in a room with a bunch of people. You're all gonna start rhyming the same to be accepted amongst the group. To be told you fire by him, you gotta sound like him. You gotta talk what he's talking because he can't hear you if you ain't talking what he's talking.
Yeah,
and that makes you feel like, oh, he don't think I'm dope, and then you start talking like he's talking. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. And dudes are the worst when it comes to music. These ain't buying no records out here unless they really, rocking with you.
Yeah.
Girls is buying your records. This is why no matter what Kendrick does, Drake will never be gone. As long as there's females walking this earth, like he's gonna make records.
Those his biggest fans, those females.
They're gonna die for him. They're gonna ride with him. They never gonna. So I don't think it's gonna, I hate to go back to that battle, but I don't think it's gonna affect Drake's career. I think it affected his approach.
Yeah.
The more tough guy talk, like Kendrick said, I like Drake with the melodies.
So, yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? But I learned then, like, you got to make records that's more appealing. And then people who didn't like hip hop. My grandmother liked What You Want. She liked
What You Want was hot. Yeah, that was a hot song, man.
So I learned right there how to make records for people. The goal is to make records for people who not particularly hip hop heads. If you can get them to like it, the heads is gonna love it. If you can get them, if you can get other people
ones that, yeah.
And that's the only way to grow, especially at that time. But like I said, now you don't have that problem. It's the number one genre in the world. Everything is hip hop. So, you got to find your demographic who wants you to make music for them and watch it grow. Look at Griselda. Come on, man. Examples are out there. They're showing you how to do it, how you could do it today.
Griselda, boy, they came out. They took over. You know what I mean?
But they understood who their demographic was, and they don't stray from that. They make records for the people who love them.
Yeah.
And I'm making records for Travis Scott fans, trying to get some Travis Scott money with an auto-tune record here and there. I ain't doing that. You know what I mean?
What would you do differently if you can go back in time?
Oh man, there's a lot of things. But the first thing I would do, I'd be more aggressive, and I definitely would have got myself out there and became affiliated with understanding you can't do this by yourself. You need help. You need to be part of the team. You know, I would have joined, I'm not gonna put anybody out there. I was asked to hook up with certain people at certain times, and I didn't want to be Robin or Aquaman or the Flash. I'm Batman over here.
Yeah,
I want to stay Batman. If I come over there, I'm Robin. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
So my mentality was, I'm gonna be Batman. I gotta be Batman. And if I can't, I don't want to be the Flash, Green Lantern, none of that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I hear that. I hear that.
You
Yeah.
know? So I mean, it may be a cocky attitude to think, but it's got to me where I'm at now, mentally and musically.
Right.
And it's about to be. I'm about to turn the volume up. So stupid.
Oh, it's about to go. We
Yeah.
didn't even get on Snow Goons yet, but I'm gonna get on Snow Goons in a minute. But but I'm gonna get to this real quick, right? When I was coming up, there was a message, in music, whether hip hop or R&B or any genre. It was a message when I was coming up. And some artists back then were also role models for me. It was Public Enemy, BDP, X Clan, and more. And you,
Right.
do you think that there are any artists out here today that can be role models to the new generation?
Kendrick. Kendrick off top.
Kendrick?
Kendrick's still fighting for the people. He's making conscious music. He's making thought provoking music. And I'm not a super Kendrick, like, had like a lot of some of these dudes are like, sometimes, I'm not a fan of like people who rap really fast. It's like, it's not
Yeah,
my thing. You talk, it's too fast. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't
yeah.
ingest it well. I go more for feeling. Like how I feel when I'm hearing you. Like, the way when Biggie opened his mouth and started talking, it was a feeling. It was
It
you know what I
was, it
mean?
was, it was, it was, it was.
50, like dudes that I'm feeling, like I'm relating, I'm connecting with these type of artists. When to me, music that when dudes rap really, really fast and stuff, it's like there's no character, there's no personality in it. It's just technical. You're showing me that you technically can rhyme all of these words together. You know, you're showing me technically you could put a bunch of words together, you can say them real fast, but I'm not necessarily feeling it. Like,
At
it's a
all.
different respect for that type of. I think hip hop should be broken into all type of different categories at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some dudes play the sax, some dudes are playing the trumpet, some people are playing the. It should be broken up. And so just because you both rapping doesn't make the music. Like, how are you gonna put a Drake album up against? We got like 8 singing records. Like, how are you naming Lauryn Hill's album the #1 hip hop album of? Are you kidding me? She rapped like 5 times on the
That's it.
whole album.
And the rest was songs. You're
All
right.
songs. He's singing. We started rapping because we couldn't sing. Duh. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I don't know what were the people that actually picked that,
I
but
don't pay attention to none of them. I just
yeah,
brought it up
yeah,
because
man.
how stupid it is.
Yeah, man.
And
That's
I love Lauren. I think that album was amazing, but it was not a hip hop.
It wasn't hip hop. It wasn't a hip hop
And I
album.
don't give they give out these crowns real easy. Like the #1 female rapper of all time. They say it's Lauren.
No, no.
And I'm like, how? The first albums that she was on, she had a verse on them records because she was in a group. The one solo album, the only rap record that she's ever made that's just rap all the way is You Might Have
With
Lost
the
One.
Fugees, right?
You
And,
Just Lost One. Now, that was the only
yeah,
solo
yeah,
rap
yeah,
record I've
yeah.
heard from her.
And yeah, and there's another one. She had another
And I
one
said
out.
she wasn't great or could have been the best, but not when you got about these other women out here that been rapping constantly and
Right. That's right. That's
consistently
right.
or
Right.
was super fire. That you could call someone #1 who didn't put out any of the material or the work that these other persons have done. So
Yeah. Who are your top three artists, past or present, that you would love to collab with?
Uh, that's a hard question because I don't really have top. I have top moments. Like I have a list in my head who I think is
Yeah,
good, but I would be remiss not to say Hove because I want to be and I would people I want to just that I would want to record with or make a song with. Oh, Jay, because I would be scared.
but
I would have butterflies.
oh
I
wow,
would.
wow,
I want that feeling. You know, like you ever saw Sparta, the 300 movie?
yeah, I saw it.
When
Yeah,
dude said to the other dude, he said, "What are you laughing at?" He said, "Because down there might be a warrior that could kill me."
yeah, yeah.
And I find that exhilarating. Like I hope I meet him. And dude was like, "Are you kidding me?" He said, "Nah, that's gonna show me just how ill I am.
Dang, wow, wow.
Because if you go in there with Hogan, you're not all you're gonna get bodied. You
Yeah,
know."
he walk all over tracks. He just walk
And
over.
you don't want to get bodied. I've only seen him. I've seen it happen to him. It can happen to anybody. Like to me, Kanye kind of worked him on that whole
Yeah,
album.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yes,
I
he did.
watched the Throne album. I was shocked. I was like,
Yeah, yes, he did.
Kanye kind of out spitting him, out timing him. His personality fit more into those tracks.
And
But
it,
I
yeah,
understand when you're making changes like Jay was making. You know,
mhm.
the only reason I bring him up is because he's the only person I've seen who's always been nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Always.
Always, and that's what I'm
When
saying.
he was rhyming fast back in the day, Jay was nice back then. He was nice throughout his whole career. He's nice now. He's a
Yeah,
billionaire. He has no reason to be dope now. That God did verse was disgusting. He had no reason doing that
yeah,
except
yeah.
to show you what he is. And that's what I respect the most. He a billionaire and he still went in that booth. That God did verse had me like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
He
He
never
ain't supposed
missed.
to still be able to do that.
He never
Another
missed,
person
man.
people might be confused by this one. LL Cool J. LL
Ah,
Cool J.
yeah,
LL Cool J.
yeah, yeah.
Come on, man. What are we talking about? I mean, I don't think people who don't get it, they don't get.
I like the L before he got with 50 and all these. I like the last little bit of the 90s L.
But
You know,
he had to make transitions to stay alive, and it's very hard to do when you have money. A lot of that hunger is gone. That's why I salute Jay
yeah,
so
yeah,
much. But
yeah,
you hear how L spitting right now. You hear these new records, he's spitting.
yeah, yeah. I heard him. I heard him.
Anybody that dangerous who been nice since they was 15, when you might not like all the songs, I didn't like all the songs he's ever made. But
Yeah,
one thing I'll never be able to say is, yo, L's whack. Can't say that.
yeah,
I can say that about a lot of dudes who was fire then and he whack now. Can't say that about L. He's been nice since he was 15. That is an anomaly. And that's scary. And his ego is still there. So if you go, I'm just talking
it's
about
still
people you go
there.
in the booth with.
It's still
If you
there.
went in
Yeah,
the booth with them and you on a song with them, you're gonna have to, you know, these are the people I would want to do it with because it's a little scary.
yeah, yeah. It is. It is. Yeah, you're right. L's still doing his thing. You know, he's still running. He's still running in that race.
I love the new records he's making. I love him. He's spitting. I love it. I love him. I'm all here for the Q-Tip LL connection. I think it's dope. I
So,
can't wait for the album. And I don't get excited about people's music because it's always disappointing. But from what I've heard so far with this, I'm really looking forward to listening to it and
so,
hopefully enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. When people put out records, I want them all to be fire
that's
because
right.
I love this culture enough. I want to hear some fire. I want to hear like I used to feel. I want to, and I
Yeah.
haven't had that feeling since I mean 50 gave me that feeling, but after
Uh-huh.
that, I haven't had that feeling ever again since that's been a long time.
Yeah, because sometimes you need that picker upper, somebody to pick you back up. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, I just want to enjoy it. Even if I said I ain't rapping no more, I still want to consume
That's right.
the art form at its highest
Yeah.
level, at
Hmm.
its most creative and highest level. I want to still enjoy that. I want to experience that. It's my life's blood. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm rooting for people to make fire. You know,
Hmm. If if you can change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
streaming would be out of here because now you made our music free. Music is free.
Yeah, yeah,
Say what
yeah.
you want, music is free.
Streaming gone.
You know what I'm saying? If you got HBO Max or whatever, and you watch a movie on there, or Disney, and you watch a movie, you didn't pay to see that movie. You paid them to show you that movie. You paying Spotify to let you hear some music, because the minute you don't pay that subscription, they cut the service. Now you can't hear that music no more. So you don't own it. So you're not, in a sense, buying it, which is the loophole, which is destroyed music. It's destroyed music.
Yeah.
10,000 songs come out a day, 9,990 of them we should never even hear.
Wow.
Or we never would hear, except for the streaming service. I would get rid of that, first of all.
You know,
then I would change the corporate structure. I'm tired of other people from other races. I don't want to hear none of that shit no more. Don't tell me, yo, I grew up and I don't want to hear none of that shit. We have got to take control of our own art form. We call this a culture. We have no control over it. No, and the ones of us who do get up there and sell their souls to get up there via what you seeing happen with Diddy right now. He didn't just wake up one day and become a bad dude. It gradually happens over time. The more success. People don't understand we're not all built for this power. Most people can't handle it. Look at Kanye, he's batshit crazy now.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's batshit crazy. Kanye's batshit crazy. I don't, he can't tell me nothing. I've seen his behavior. It's like this. It's the power, the way he speaks. I've seen people who, in lesser positions, when they get this air about themselves, the arrogance, it's jumps all off him. He's one of the greatest artists we've ever had. Yeah, but it's too much. All that adoration, all that. Look at Michael Jackson. That shit crazy. I only seen 3 people survive this shit. The superstardom or icon godlike status. That was Bob Marley, Muhammad Ali, and Prince. Everybody else done went batshit.
Because you can lose your mind. That's what they did. They done lost their mind, man.
Prince ain't lose his mind. He stayed away. He played his game. He was at one point. Prince was that. He never allowed it to make him crazy. Muhammad Ali ain't never allowed his godlike status in this to make him crazy or change who he was. Bob Marley definitely didn't do that. But other than that, every person I've seen with power either became a junkie, a drug addict, a rapist, a murderer. There's something went crazy.
Yeah, they lost their mind somewhere, man. A mental situation, you know?
You know, think about Michael. He used to stand on stage and not move. And people would scream and pass out.
Pass out.
Carried out. And no one man should have all that power.
Right. That's right.
Nobody's supposed to have that much, you know. And I think social media and all this has made it where you're in their lives every day and they get to show you their money and they get to show you fantasize about being them more. It breeds more envy, which is why we celebrate when somebody's on their way down. People are happy about what's happening to Diddy. I know people that were happy about what happened to R. Kelly. I mean, happy. Because he's been living this life that you can't live in front of your face for so long. Yeah, now he would trade places with you. For the first time in life, that person would trade places with you. Because R. Kelly would trade places with anybody right now. Sitting in jail for 30 fucking years. For the rest, you're going to be in there probably till you die, right?
Yeah. Basically, he's going to be about maybe 70 when he get out.
Yeah, that's whack.
Like 70 years.
And we act like everybody that sends is getting out. You ain't not make it out.
Matter of fact, we're talking about like 80. R. Kelly is like what, 50? You think?
He's 50 something.
Oh yeah. He'd be about like 90 when he come home.
Maybe 80s. He might get paroled, but even so, your life is gone, man. Being locked away at this stage of his life, he's already in mature stages of his life. You know, to be locked up for the next 30, that's crazy. But he would trade places with a homeless person that has freedom right now.
He would. Yes, he would. To get out of that situation.
But Bill Gates, not Bill Gates, was the Steve Jobs would have traded places with you or me in a heartbeat when he had that pancreatic cancer during that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, okay, I'll be him and he can be me. As long as I get to live, you know, life is the most precious thing that there is. So, you know, people cheer for other people's downfalls, and I think that's sad. But if you foul, like the things I've read or known about Diddy for a while, it comes a time, man. The Reaper, you know, not the Reaper, Devil come if the contract's up. Devil's coming to collect. You gotta pay.
That's right.
You gotta pay. Can't
Yeah.
do what you've done. You can't destroy lives and end people's careers and you can't walk through life like that. Not as a black man. If you was a white boy, maybe you could get away with it. You know, but you ain't doing it as a black man because they want that money back anyway. They just let you hold it.
So basically, he just borrowing the money. It's temporary for him.
Yeah, I've yet to see any of these niggas retire and end with everything and then their family. I've never seen generational wealth, which should have been Michael Jackson's kids. There's supposed to be 3 young black entrepreneurs right now, but there's not. He got 3 kids that we know is not his, and the money is it's gone. It's out of the community. It's out of the Jackson family. You understand? This shit is deeper. It's about letting us hold the money. Because either they come lock you up or they look, Bill Cosby, he tried to buy NBC.
They locked him up.
Now he's an old blind man who's harmless.
Hey. I mean,
he ain't buying nothing now.
I'm quite sure he still got millions though, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, but so you can keep that little chump change. They'll get that back throughout the years because either your kids are stupid and they're not gonna do right with the money and they'll get it back that way. They're not gonna invest it to turn it into wealth, so they'll get it back that way. They're gonna spend it. Notice how that every time the price go up to buy a nigga, so does the perks around that nigga prices go up. See, we used to wear $2,000 chains, think we was flossing. Now, 100,000, $500,000 on the arm, and you're rapping about it. Got $500,000 on the wrist, another $1,000,000. Are you kidding me? You can't eat none of that shit you wearing, and you can't go nowhere wearing it. You can't go nowhere wearing it.
Right. That's right.
You wear it to the restaurant, you wear it on stage. You can't wear it nowhere else or walk through Beverly Hills looking like a fool. Did you ever see rich black people in Beverly Hills and then see rich white people? The rich white actors and celebrities, they walk around in T-shirts and jeans. Here come the rapper. He got all the jewelry and
he blinged out.
Fucking foolery on.
Yeah, he blinged out.
Man. So they learn how they're gonna pay you more and they're gonna give you more things to spend that money on. That's just it's a crazy game, man.
Wow,
and it's frustrating. I get frustrated really easy watching this go down because to me, I can't be the only one who sees this.
Yeah,
you know,
right. Looking back on your life, what are you most proud of about yourself?
That I stayed who I was supposed to stay. I didn't allow, nothing to take me off the course or make me want to be somebody or be like somebody because they had money or join the party that they was part of if I thought it was wrong or I thought it wasn't right. I've always been that way. I'm like, I'm quickest thing in the world to say, yo, fuck you. You know what I mean? That's it, Wow. So I'm proud that I was able to do that, and to still be happy about life at this age,
Yeah.
Mid-50s is different. Mid-50s is different. You appreciate things a lot differently. And you stop seeing things as the answer to everything, but living in the moment,
There you go.
Like I have no delusions that I'm gonna be Kanye level. I'm gonna do when I put new music out. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna put out music that's gonna make an impact. It's gonna stay something. It's gonna help destroy ageism. It's gonna help people stop saying you can't do this when you get a certain, You gotta study your craft. You gotta keep the thing about hip hop is it's ever changing. Always changing. Flows, cadences. As an artist, these are the things you should pay attention to. Not content and what people are talking about, but flows and cadences and how to grow yourself. And so you don't sound like, because you can't come out tomorrow and go, hey, yo, to the beat, and I rock the mic. Can you be the part? No, laugh at you. You know what I'm saying? You should always be changing. I was rapping like that when I was a kid, but I kept changing every time it changed.
Yeah, you kept switching it up.
You know what I mean? My approach to this thing is different than other people's. It's an actual love of doing it. I love doing it. I don't have to do it no more. You know what I mean? I love doing it. I love creating. I love listening to music. No matter what other little business ventures we involved in, we got podcasts, we got studios, we got things moving. You know what I mean? We got
Wow.
locations we bring in. I don't work with young artists, really, because to me, I'm trying to. If I did help somebody or come across an artist, he would have to be like when you first heard Big, when you first heard Nas. You have to, you know what I mean? You have to want it more for that person than you want it for yourself. And somebody who's lackluster or don't have a good work ethic, I don't want it for you more than I want it for myself. So then why would I give you my all?
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So
Wow.
we more or less rent out space, let people create, produce, make music, do the records they want to do, that type of thing. But as far as like forming a label and like I'm working with two, I'm down with a little clique now, so we really focused on what we doing.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Okay.
know,
Yeah. So you have how many is in that group and your clip?
well, I'm gonna make this announcement on your show too. I'm down. I'm rolling.
Ah.
I'm fucking with Cool G Rap, right?
Oh. Okay.
I'm officially linked with him now. We down. We same producers, same it's a little, you know what I mean? And it's an artist out of Connecticut called Kambata. I don't know if people have heard of him, but if you haven't, you should. He's another dude who is very dangerous in that booth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. So
I
so
wouldn't
so
want to rap with him too much either. We did one song together, but that's about
we
he's
got
Kambata. Go
album coming.
look up. Tell
Kabak.
people, go look him up. He got music out right now. He's out. His name is Kambata.
Kambata.
I'm sorry, man. Hold up. What the hell? Sorry, man. I'm getting calls and shit. I'm trying to send him a
Yeah,
voice.
I can tell. You know why I can tell? Because your phone freezes a lot. It was freezing and a whole lot. That's why it's froze now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people calling in and saying, it
yeah.
is?
That's why
You
I
can't see me?
suggest
It's not moving?
I can see you now, but that's why I'll be suggesting a computer because computer, you can't nobody call you in the
Oh,
computer.
right. You don't begin because I don't even the computer. I'm not a computer. My main computers is all at the studio. I got this one. I don't even think this got a camera on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just what are your thoughts on the current state of rap? I don't want to say hip hop. I just because I don't. This is not hip hop what's going on now. So
Well, I already said that. It's just fucking pure hell. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Most ridiculous music I've ever heard in my life. When people are talking about killing each other, we the only people who do that. It's crazy. When our
yeah,
females is all, yo, my pussy, my pussy, my pussy, my pussy,
twerking. Yeah.
twerking, my pussy, my pussy. I mean, look, Ice Spice sold 20, look, the Sexy Red Chick sold 27,000 copies. That's terrible. That's a failure where I come from. You'd have been dropped.
Yeah,
Ice Spice sold 20,000 copies her first week. Bitch got 17 million followers on Instagram. People are not here for the music. They're here for the show.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
They don't buy this stuff, but the mainstream, they will have you thinking that this is what's happening out here. No one's listening to it because you're making us listen to it by putting it on every social media platform. You put money behind this because it's going where you want our children's minds to go. The girl
Right.
twerks nonstop like that. If she stopped moving, I would think, and I was happy a young chick from the Bronx. I love to see these kids making money and changing their families' lives, but they have to realize what they're being used for.
That's right. Yeah,
And the craziest thing about hip hop to me is people don't know when they garbage. They
wow.
don't. If you
Because
can't sing, you know you can't sing.
that's right.
You
That's
go
right.
in the mirror, you go on stage, you go, oh, you know you can't.
Yeah,
But for
yeah.
some reason, people who suck at rapping don't think they suck. And that's the scariest part that's what's destroyed this culture once we allow people to start sucking. Because it wasn't always that way. It wasn't once we start allowing mediocre dudes to grab that
That's
microphone and
right.
stand next to Puffy, Jermaine Dupri, we allowed them dudes to get away with not really being good rapping. But he's making songs with Jay-Z. This one's making songs with Biggie.
Well,
The
Biggie.
best guys in the world are rapping with him, so we don't even take it serious no more. It's not an art form, I tell people all the time, you know how hard it is for them, how hard it was to find another Rakim?
That's right. That's right.
Hard as hell. But it's real easy to find a dude who's not that good. It's a dime a dozen.
A new dude. You're right. You're right. You're right.
So the industry started lowering the standard for what was considered good lyricism or rapping. They
Wow.
lowered the standards because it was in their benefit to have us sounding like clowns. Or if this whack guy can sell records, then what do we care for looking for
Yeah.
a creative original artist anymore? Why should we look for that no more? We don't need to do that. Let's just get him. He
Wow.
has an image. He talks shit. Let's get him. And if he's done, we'll take his friend on the next one. So, all of these things destroyed it. So we are in the worst place I've ever seen.
Because it's these
in music, period.
Yeah. You're right. It's the
It's not just hip hop though. R&B has suffered.
Yeah, you freezing. You freezing again.
It's frozen. Damn.
Yeah, now it's back.
I'm saying R&B suffered the most too. Look at the songs. You don't have to sing. Got auto-tune. You don't have to be a good singer no more. These chicks can't sing, making all these little whispering records. How is that? That's not singing.
I hate that, man. I really do, man.
It's crazy.
I hate that.
It's over. It's over. As far as people thinking you're gonna make money off music, it's over. It's all the other things that come along with music is just a representation for you to sell everything else that you got going on via live shows or merchandise or your podcast, your ideas. That's all. You're not making money off music. There's no money left. It's over. Music is free.
I think the shows, they get paid off their shows. And that's basically it.
But that's why you got to make music to get shows, to keep going.
Yeah.
But that's it. You ain't making money selling music.
Right.
Now, if you own your publishing and you own different things, now you're talking. So the situation I'm in now, we own everything. We're going to stay owning everything. I'd rather sell 50,000 copies live and not allow it to be streamed. You know how much money? Do the math.
That's right.
Make me a house real quick while y'all niggas are talking about, you finished, it ain't gonna happen. While you talking like that, I'm gonna get house money.
We rocking and rolling, man. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait until that project come out with you, Kool G Rap, and Kavak.
Well, no, it's not us three in the group.
Okay, I thought it was a group.
No, he's got his album coming out. I'm behind that. This guy's good. So it's just a team. Like he's helping. He's executive producing. Okay. I should say more. He's executive producing. He's not doing the beats, and we got the same producers. So we're not doing. That's how we linked up. But he's not doing music in any way. But executive producing. He's helping get other artists. Guest features. Like it's gonna be loaded. It's gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be what I should have had before. Now, and I'm rapping it at a very high level, man, because I got so much to say now. Sometimes you gotta live another life. To me, it's been another lifetime. 28 years. It's been another lifetime of experience and learning. I know what I'm supposed to be talking about right now. I ain't gonna preach to you. I'm gonna keep it witty. I'm gonna keep the bars and entendres because that's what I love.
Right.
The lyricism of it, but the subject matter and the content is gonna be like, yo. This nigga's talking. I talk different, and they're gonna realize that when in very short time. Shooting a video for the first song next week.
Man, listen, I'm looking forward to it. I know the fans looking forward to it, and I listen.
Yeah,
I'm going.
Like I said, we're trying to destroy ageism too. I want some of these brothers that still have the talent and skill, man. Don't stop chasing your dream. Get up. Somebody wants to hear it. Stop making records for teeny boppers. I'm not making records for down south. I'm not making records for the club. You know what I mean? I'm making art that's people who really want, and it's going to be banging. The music, the production is at the highest level I've ever been produced at. This is the highest level. It's instrumentation along with samples. It's understanding sonics. Another reason why a lot of dudes lose out here is because the way I used to be able to tell old records from new records when I was a kid was how they sounded.
Yeah.
I knew the Temptations was way older than Earth, Wind, and Fire because Earth, Wind, and Fire sounded so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
knew James Brown stuff was a little older than, you know, what was going on in the 80s. And you know what I'm saying? Because the way it sounded. And it's the same thing now. The way these kids, I give them one thing, their production levels and skills is really high. They understand song structure. They understand science of music. They understand that.
Yeah.
So when you're making sample-driven, dusty sounding records that sound like the 90s was a long time ago, bro.
Yeah.
To us, it was yesterday, but
Come on, 30-something years, man.
they've been conditioned, their ears have been conditioned to hear music the way it's supposed to sound now, the way it sounds. So you gotta, that's what Kanye was able to do. That shit was hip hop, but it ain't sound like no 90s, 30, you know, he's bringing in musicians to play along with the sound. It's the science to it, man. So I'm blessed enough to be in that situation with the producer I'm with now, Nick Price. You know, that's who's working with G-Rap as well. Yeah, so
So we're
the
looking forward.
music is gonna be up there.
We're looking forward to that. We got the legendary Nine Underground. He got new music coming out. He got some things, some surprises for everybody. I thank you, brother, for coming on to A Vision Media Broadcast. I
Thank you
think
for having me, brother. I had a good time talking, man.
a good time, great time, man. You know, we could have went around too. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, definitely. But you know, I
I
know a
think
lot of people be like, they hear this all the time, but just look in my eyes, yo. Where am I looking at? See that passion? That shit ain't going nowhere.
it
I'm
ain't going
coming for you
nowhere.
dudes, man. I'm not one of them dudes that sit around complaining about I don't like this, yo. I'm coming to take your heads off. I swear to God, I promise you, man. I'm nice.
Yo, listen, I want to thank you, Nine, for coming through, man.
All
Like I
right,
said, it was
family.
wonderful.
Yo, this is Nine, aka Big Nine, and you are watching A Vision Entertainment. You understand? Get with it or get lost. Peace.